Hey everybody, I'm 13th Wolfman. You know what I did today? I went out and I saw Star Wars The Last Jedi. That's right. So this was an adventure in itself, I say that much. Got up rather early because, well, so, just to give you a little background, the theater that I go to, for the longest time I would go there and they would have like before noon showings, you know, matinees. And those were usually like $5 to get into. And then somewhere along the line they thought, hey, we're not making any money doing early shows, so we're going to now start the shows after noon, after the 12 o'clock hour. You know? And it kind of bummed me out because, you know, I like seeing the early shows. So Star Wars comes out and they're like, hey, we're going to start doing a bunch of early shows. They had one at 9:30, one at 10:30, one at 11. The 11 o'clock one, I believe, was a 3D one. One at 12:45. So I knew I was going to make the 9:30 one, but I was shooting for the 10:30. And if I didn't hit the 10:30, then my backup was 10:45. Yeah, it's after the noon mark, but still, we get there and it's about 9:35. We could have possibly went in. Oh no, we actually couldn't have. We thought we could have went into the 9:31, but it turns out that some teacher in this area bought out the first show of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. The entire theater. For a bunch of students. There were 3 school buses there. So it's like, okay. So the 10:30 was the next showing. And we got tickets to that. I went over, I looked in the theater. It's completely bare. So we get to find the seats that we want, you know. We got our seats. No one really sat in front of us that would block our view. And then the movie started, and I mean, it was one of the coolest things. I usually have like someone either sitting behind me or sitting next to me that's being super disrespectful. They either got their telephone working or they're yakking with their wife, explaining the entire movie to them. None of that this time. But before I went and got sat down at my seat, I picked up a couple of souvenirs at the concession stand. I don't know if your theater is doing like, hey, look, here we got collectibles for Star Wars: The Last Jedi for you, but they had them at mine, and they're these little tin buckets. Star Wars. And then, you know, you got Luke and, what is it, Luke and Kylo-Ren and, you know, Ray, you know, doing the... And it looks like that on all sides. But they had a couple of different ones you could choose from. I got 2 of them. I didn't get the third one because it had a porg on it. I really didn't care for the porgs. So then you got this one. And there's one more side to it. So you got Luke on there, Kylo, and again Ray, and these were really cool. I thought they were nice to pick up, you know, just something to. So I go up to buy them, and the guy at the concession stand says. So the guy at the concession stand says, okay, well the buckets are $5.99 each. I don't mind. I'm gonna get a Star Wars, you know, collectible. I don't care. So he says, which one do you want? And I got the one with the first one that I got was the one with Kylo, Luke, and Daisy. You know, where she's holding the lightsaber, and I thought this is really cool. So I have this on my lap the entire time in the movie because someone sat next to me, so I couldn't just put it, and I didn't want to put it on the floor because in case someone got up, they wind up kicking it. So I had it sitting on my lap the entire time. But he's like, well, if you buy the bucket, then you got to buy the popcorn and put in the bucket. I'm like, can I just buy the damn bucket? You know, just the bucket alone? And So I did, and then after the movie, I bought the second one. So let's get to the movie. 5 minutes talking about just getting there. I'll say this, as far as The Last Stand goes, I like the story, but I'm not really going to talk about the story. I don't want to give anything away. The visuals of the movie were beautiful, except for the look of Snoke. I thought that was probably the worst thing of this movie. And the second bad thing is the porgs. Honestly, there was really no reason to have porgs in this movie. If you've seen the movie, or if you haven't seen the movie, if you know what a porg is, they're little penguin-looking furry birds, right? At first, when the movie was over, I was like, "Oh wow!" So the porgs are like the Ewoks of this generation. But that's not even true, because the porgs didn't do anything. The Ewoks at least helped fight against, the Empire. They're just there. That's it. I mean, every now and then they'll show like a cute porg and everyone will laugh because it's done something, but it was really such a non-essential character that I felt that it was a waste of time to have them in there. Maybe I'm heartless, but I mean, everything else fit in this movie. I really like this movie. I like like I said, the story and some of the visuals and Chewie with his Daisy Ridley did a great job as Rey. You had like 3 to 4 stories going on at all times, and it was kind of cool how they intercut between each one to keep you informed on what's going on. I'll say this, when it came to the movie starting, so I completely ignored all trailers. I didn't see anything about this movie. I didn't want to know anything about this movie. So I just assumed that where A Force Awakens ends is where The Last Jedi begin. On the island with Luke and Rey. That's not where it begins. And I was actually kind of surprised about that. I mean, we don't get caught up with Luke and Rey for like 20 to 30 minutes. It's a bit of time down the road. But I mean, other than that was not a bad thing. I was just saying that I expected that's where they would start from, but that's not. Everyone is back. Carrie Fisher did a great job in this movie. Mark Hamill did a great job. I guess I didn't know this, but someone, Leo from the Dorkening, told me that Peter Mayhew is not playing Chewbacca. He hasn't played Chewbacca in the last 2 movies. And I was like, oh, okay. Did not know that. Anthony Daniels is back as C-3PO. All in all, it's a good time. I say go see it. I really like this movie. I'm one of the rare ones, because when it comes to the Star Wars stuff, I like the original trilogy, A New Hope, Empire, and Return. I like Rogue One, A Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi. And as far as the prequels go, I didn't mind Phantom Menace. I thought it could have been better. But Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, I liked both of those a lot. So, I mean, I've liked most of the Star Wars movies. Looking forward to seeing what they do with Episode 9. I keep hearing about all these spin-offs that they're going to do, and I'm not sure if I'm going to really be... it's like, oh, there's going to be a young Han Solo spin-off, and there's going to be this spin-off, and it's like, I heard about a Boba Fett spin-off, and I'm like, I really don't care about Boba Fett. Boba Fett is one of the most wasted... I don't understand why people like him. He's in the movies total between Empire and Return. I think he's got like 10 minutes of screen time total. It just doesn't do anything. I find it amazing that this guy's got such a following. So I don't really give a crap about a young Boba Fett movie. That's probably the one I won't watch. Other than that, I mean, Everything else about this movie is just great. So, did you see the last Jedi? What'd you think? Tell me about it. Do you want to see it? Do you like the new movies? What do you think about Disney just throwing in non-essential stuff like porgs? You know? Please, write a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Comment, subscribe, like, and share. With that, I'm the 13th Wolfman. Of course, I'm on the prowl.